Hello everyone, Luke here. Welcome to my latest My Team video. It is time for round 17 of our first My Team season. It is the Russian Grand Prix, where somehow I doubt we're going to do as well as we did in Singapore. We managed to take our first podium and first victory of the season. An absolutely fantastic result. Was not expecting that whatsoever. Means we're now 7th in the Drivers' Championship. The team are in 6th. In the Constructors, you can see we're closing in on Alex Albon and Racing Point respectively. Think it's going to be tough to keep up with those guys, but I'm going to give it my all at the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix. Time for qualifying then here at Sochi. Can I possibly sneak inside the top 10 for the first time this season? I'm not sure it would be the best for my strategy, as I would have to start on these soft tyres. Definitely going to give it my all in this qualifying session, though. It's a very awkward turn 2 here, the first braking zone, so don't be surprised if there's a few incidents in lap 1, but that is probably going to be the best chance I and all the other drivers are going to have getting any overtaking done. Practice actually went okay around here for once. Not a circuit I've driven around loads. The only trouble I did have, track limits at some of the corners. Very easy to just put a wheel wide, and sometimes you get a bit too heavy on the throttle, that then sends you out of the race. As you can see, I've skipped over that curve there, compromised my line ever so slightly. This long straight is probably the next best overtaking opportunity after turn 2. You get DRS once again, so that will give us a nice boost down here. Currently in 13th place from this final twisty section of the lap to go. Can we move ourselves any higher up the order, or will we be on our usual 13th, 14th grid position that we seem to have made our home throughout this season? I think being in them two places more often than not in qualifying, just dropping down ever so slightly. Can I get it right through the final couple of corners? Very wide there across the finish line in the end. That is going to be 16th on the grid. Felt like there was a few mistakes on that lap. Maybe though we'll be able to benefit from some penalties like we did in Singapore.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Hamilton, Bottas and Sebastian Vettel. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
There we go, confirmation, we're 16th, Nick is 20th, our rival Daniel Ricciardo is 8th, but we might be able to use that alternate strategy to beat him once again. Albon down in 13th, in fact both Red Bulls looking like they are struggling, so maybe a chance for us to finish higher up than we usually would, but let's see how the race goes then. It's time for Sunday.
Welcome along then to Sochi and the Russian Grand Prix, one of 8 cities in the world to play host to both the Olympics and a Formula 1 race. It's a Grand Prix that's proven difficult to crack for anyone beyond the first 2 rows of the grid in recent years, so let's see if that can change today. Situated just 3 miles from the Georgian border, the 3.6 miles Sochi Autodrome has 2 notable overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and then turn 13. 18 corners in total here, 12 to the right and 6 to the left, and it's an average lap speed of around 130 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Can we talk about Mercedes? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Lance Stroll and Perez, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Verstappen and Esteban Ocon, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Alexander Albon and Norris, Sainz, the owner-driver, Pierre Gasly and Kevin Magnussen, De Vries, Latifi, Russell and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Unfortunately for us, we didn't gain any places on the grid, so we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and overtake as many cars as we can possibly manage. We're on the one-stop strategy, mediums to softs. Hopefully that will be the best one, as it is quite a long pit lane here at Russia. Will we do as well as we did in Singapore? I sincerely doubt it. Let's try and get some more good points for the team though. On the way then, not a bad initial getaway, it's just we seem to get a bit of wheel spin at the second phase of the start. The slipstream begins on the run down to turn 2. Need to be very careful here that I don't get my front wing lobbed off. An illegal overtake on Pierre Gasly, so letting him back through. He's got ahead of us. We've got ahead of Sainz, who's going to try and go down the inside of turn 3 to get the outside for turn 4. I am just about able to hold onto that position though. It does look very feisty at this moment in the race. On the soft tyres, again we're going for that alternate strategy like we did do in Belgium, like we did in Italy and Singapore as well, where the first few laps are all going to be about holding on to these guys. Once we get the DRS, that should get slightly easier as well, because it is very powerful on the run down to turn 2 and on this straight as well. Pretty standard first lap though, nothing crazy happened there. Just a shame that I got a bit more of a wheel spin on the second phase of the start. My initial getaway was very good.
On lap 1, that's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused.
As Jeff said, it's not great that I didn't go up any places, but it's not exactly terrible. My initial getaway was pretty good really. I managed to jump Sainz almost straight away, but then had to cut over the corner at turn 2. That meant I dropped behind Gasly, because maybe I would have been ahead of him and I'd have been battling with Norris as well. But as we come to the end of lap 1, we ran extremely wide out of the final corner. That is going to give Sainz an opportunity maybe to get alongside us, and I think he's going to make his way through. So
okay, we've lost a position.
Can I fight back? Round the outside at turn 2. This is going to be a great manoeuvre, and in the end I have to give that all. So we're down to 17th now. Can I just hook on the back of these guys to give myself the best possible chance later in the race? Definitely the closest I've got to Sainz. The problem is he's now got DRS off the car in front. I think it's Ricciardo was at the front of the train. Albon's just got ahead of him. Seems to be Ricciardo that's holding everyone up. That's good news for my rival, mate. Not good news for me getting into the points, so I'm making my way through the field, because I'm really finding it difficult to overtake, and I'm really finding it hard to just keep up with these guys as well. That was late.
Nice work.
That was great. That worked as well. So up ahead of Sainz into what is only 16th place. I really needed some free air now for this strategy to work. Hopefully though, by the looks of things, Ricciardo looks like he's a bit of a sitting duck down some of these straights. I've not had the best exit there out of that corner, but you can just see how much I'm catching up to him. Can I go round the outside into the braking zone? Yes I can, so that's another place gained. Up into 15th, hopefully now I can start to catch up to some of those who started on the soft tyres.
Okay, clear.
Giovinazzi is out of the race, he's broken down. A few drivers starting to come into the pits. That promotes us up into 9th position for now. Obviously those that are pitted will now be a lot quicker than us. So just going to try and carry on and see how long I can go on these mediums. No real point fighting over these Ferraris. Are so much quicker than me at this point of the race. Just letting them go. Coming in on the end of next lap, we are currently in 5th position. We'll drop a long way down though when we can pit. pit stop complete, then soft tyres are on. We are in 14th position when we've come out of the pits, so that's not a disaster really when you think about where we were before the stops. Now we're going to have such better tyres than these ahead of us. Some of them actually on the hard tyres, which is a very brave call, I must say. We can just push like crazy. Very careful with the track limit because it could be easy to pick up a penalty. Let's see if we can sneak our way into the points.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
I have caught up to this pack, but DRS trains being what they are on this game, it's going to be very hard for me to overtake them at a conventional overtaking opportunity. Maybe a bit like I did on science earlier, just send one down the inside. That could have easily broken a front wing, but I still sort of, I feel, got a chance into this right-hander here. That is one place gained. That is what I'm going to have to do until I get to Raikkonen, I feel. Because the DRS is just so powerful. We don't seem to have the straight line speed around this circuit. Can still get a few points here, but it is going to be a challenge, although we have got a fantastic exit off of that corner. We're going to be a long way back to maybe throw one down the inside there. Can we get it stopped in time? Yes, we have. We're up into 12th position. Working our way up. There's still a chance for us to get a point in this race by getting ahead of Stroll and Raikkonen. Any more than that is going to be a challenge. Feel like I'm a bit closer than I was last time to Norris. The problem is, if I dive bomb it here, we've got Raikkonen in the way as well, who we don't want to take out. I'm going to send one down the inside, just about getting it stopped in time. That is another position gain. We are in 11, and Kimi won't have the DRS, so he might be a bit more straightforward to pass. Right, can I get past Raikkonen here? Can I get into the points? It's going to be pretty close. I've managed to get ahead before the braking zone. He's trying to hang it off on the inside. I've got the inside for the next corner though. That is 10th position. It was crucial that I got ahead of him then. I felt like I was almost pushing him around that last part of the first sector and the start of the middle sector as well. So we are now up into the points for the first time this race. Partly helped, of course, by Giovinazzi's retirement. Can we catch up to Ocon?
Okay, you're in the top 10.
Going to be a big ask, but I'm going to give it my all. I have managed to catch up to Esteban Ocon then, and again, should be a straightforward DRS assisted pass into 9th position. Bit like Raikkonen, he's going to try and hold it on the inside there, but he's not got the grip to do that. I'm up into 9th position. Really flown the last couple of laps. We just got a bit stuck behind Ocon on that one there. So I think catching up to Albon's going to be hard, but again, won't know unless we try.
This is your final lap of the race.
There we go then, final lap of the race. I've given it my all. I think I'm just going to run out of
The
time.
gap behind is dropping back. We're
Catch
seeing
up
a gap form.
To Alexander Albon, unfortunately, so it might be worth me just settling in to secure this 9th place. Not again been the easiest of races. We really seem to struggle on the first couple of laps, and getting stuck in that DRS train as well behind Daniel Ricciardo didn't seem to do us any favours really. Really doesn't look like I'm catching up to Albon, so might as well turn the fuel back to standard, make sure I don't do anything stupid coming out of the corners.
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
You don't need to tell me, Jeff, that the tank is empty. Bottas taking another win. It does look like he's going to comfortably secure this Drivers' Championship now. We're going to get a few more points at least, which is always good. 9th position. We do seem to be struggling, apart from Singapore, obviously, to really get much higher at the moment. And I suppose we did get a bit of luck in this race with the retirement of Antonio Giovinazzi. These hards are pretty much wrecked. The softs even. I should say they're pretty much completely at the end of their life. Come around the final corner. 9th place, another 2 points.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
See if that's enough to earn me driver of the day once again. It's amazing how the one time I didn't get that was when I won.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So Mercedes look pretty happy, understandably. More normal podium after what we had at Singapore.
Let's see how the driver standings have changed. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I'm going to give it to the owner-driver today. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from the owner-drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Don't know why it says we've overtaken McLaren this weekend when it did it last weekend. So we stayed in 6th in the constructors, stayed in 7th in the drivers. You see there, we really were pushing hard towards the end of the race, just wasn't able to catch up to Albon in the end, probably just ran out of grip in the final couple of laps. Nick managed to finish ahead of both of the Haas cars, so that's a pretty decent result from him, I have to say. Got ourselves another 2 points. Did look as though some of the engine components were starting to wear as well in that race, so I might have to start taking a couple of penalties maybe next time out in Japan, just to make sure I've got decent pace. But for now, let's see what Claire has to ask us.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Nimbleness. Let's make the chassis department feel good so I can afford an upgrade.
All expectations. Would you say we all
And I think they did underestimate us, and yeah, I was fairly happy with how it went. It would have been nice to score more points.
Gave you the edge over your rivals?
Let's get the powertrain up as well, because that's our next weak point, I think, after the chassis.
Well, that's everything.
After those first few laps, I'd have taken 9th place. I really didn't think we were going to get any points whatsoever, really. Just seemed to struggle. Ricciardo, I think, holding up that many cars did seem to help us in the end, and because he had such a bad race, we do overtake him in the rivalry again, so we'll now be 2 points ahead of him. Nick's up to a claim level 8, means he'll be a bit more expensive to afford when it comes to contract renewal time at the end of the season. We did meet all the team objectives, so that's another $750,000 into the bank, so we can keep improving the team. Did get myself a bit of damage during practice, so we lose some money from that, but overall, not a bad weekend, and we have got a bit of time to develop a bit more cash and develop the car. We've just 5 rounds to go of the season, and next time around is one of the classic Formula 1 circuits, one of the trickier circuits as well, but definitely one that I think everyone enjoys driving around. It will be the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. Will be round 18 of the season. So let's see how it goes next time around. Hopefully.
And we're making good profit against our running costs.
Hopefully we'll get some good points. We might probably just end up renewing some of them sponsors. And I will see you guys next time around at Suzuka. Goodbye.